MSIB program and also to introduce their graduates. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gisela. Welcome, everyone. Am I clear? Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
So the MSIB program is a 15-month program. We call it as part-time, but actually it has full-time requirements. It's part-time because the schedule is on a Friday evening and whole of Saturday. Okay, we actually have here representatives of two batches, one from the 2017 pioneering batch and two from the most recent batch. Um, the, the program design changed because we innovated. Okay, it used to be full-time for 2 year, two cohorts, and then now it's part-time. Okay, so we have uh, the second batch for the part-time program, and we have a student here joining us from that group as well. Um, the MSIB program is designed in such a way that it's going to allow innovation in the delivery of the program. We have a basic layer of the management courses, which is expected of an AIM degree. And then we have a layer we call the Innovation Lecture Series, wherein we invite scientists like Dr. Giselle, Sir Al, Ms. Veronica to share with us their knowledge that could hopefully inspire the students in their capstone journey. We had scientist guests also from the Marine Science Institute, Dr. Gisela, in the past cohort. And that particular session helped one of the capstone groups redesign, okay, their capstone direction using seaweeds for packaging because we had a marine scientist who shared their knowledge with our students. Prof. Rico sat in one of the defense sessions that we had. We actually have incorporated a course called Innovation Journey Defense. We have three defenses in the program. First defense will cover um, the inciting stage of the innovation process. The second defense will cover the ideating stage. And the third defense would be the implementing stage. Prof. Rico Satingman, probably you could share with us how that thing goes so they'll have an idea of the sort of rigor we inject in the program design.
Yeah, that I thought that was very intriguing. The way we keep pushing the students to go back and validate and check and make sure that that they're actually trying to solve a problem that really exists. Because very often this happens that you fall in love with an idea and you want to go forward with it, but you forget to check that that people actually have this kind of problem and that there are enough people that have this kind of problem, or there are enough people that are willing to pay to solve this problem. Because if that doesn't happen, then you don't have a valid business model. So that rigor of doing the research, going through the analysis of doing the environmental analysis, and then actually validating with your target users. I think that's a very comprehensive approach to validating the problem. And I think maybe, yeah, I'm interjecting here, but I think maybe the students get frustrated with the push to try and solve figure out what the problem is. But that's my experience has also been that many entrepreneurs and many corporate entrepreneurs disregard the problem validation stage and start going down a path that really doesn't lead anywhere because you really didn't define and didn't spend enough time exploring the problem. So I think if we get that straight through the students and that carries on, we'll be in a much better place for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so we actually try to marry business and science. The MSIB program is designed to invite STEM graduates, and then we expose them to the business, okay, through this courses in the program and through these interactions with faculty members who have been in the business for quite a while. So when they do their defense, it's not just defending to anyone, it's actually defending to faculty members who are practitioners. Okay, so they really get a feel of the hard questions. It's like the Shark Tank that was described by Sir Al earlier. Similar to that. That's why they probably get frustrated. Would you like to add on something, Rico?
No, I'm good, thanks.
You're good? Okay. So the next intake of the MSIB program is actually in April. We're currently doing webinar sessions for the projects of the current MSIB cohort. Their subject right now that they're excited about is the Foresight course. So they have created a compendium of the futures that they perceive to have for particular industries. So we can send you invites on that running series. I think they've already featured architecture, they've featured governance. Okay, they're going to feature other um, themes within the year. So that exposes the audience to what's happening in the program called MSIB and hopefully create interest in the new course offerings, new student experiences that we're designing for the MSIB students. So that's it, Dr. Giselle, for the MSIB program.
So at this point, thank you, Luisa and Rico. At this point, perhaps you can then begin to introduce your speakers.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're going to have uh, Rage, Mikey, and then Jazel in that order. Okay. So Rage is going to talk about 360 bridged 360 Rage. Rage is a graduate of the Pioneer batch. She's an engineer and she'll elaborate on her story. I'll give her the floor. And after that, Dr. Giselle, are we going to open for questions after that or three first and then?
That would be good. So after Rage speaks, then we can ask our questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So Rach will have 12 minutes to share with us something about yourself, of course. Okay, and about your startup. Okay, thank
Right.
you. Welcome.
Right. Thank you po. Right. So I'm Rage, and I actually graduated from University of the Philippines, Diliman, as mining engineer. Actually, naging professor ko pa si Sir CP. Yeah, and so 2015 ako graduate, and 2017 I entered the Asian Institute of Management as pioneer batch for the MSIB. So before MIB pa yung yung tawag sa amin. Kaso pinalitan yung branding because of the Men in Black daw kami. And yeah, so actually as an individual, I've always been interested with technology, and then I started being curious about marrying the idea of the importance of information, and there's money in it, and that if I can actually know something about finance, then I might be able to do something more. It might be my ikigai if you're familiar with it. So basically, my reason for living. Way back 2016, I was having some mental health issues. So that's the reason why I was also looking for something that would spark again in me, and try to guide me back to the right track. And I think MSIB was the path that way, that time. And I'm very glad that I took that path. So right now I'm here, and I created this, well, I founded this Bridge 360 IT company together with my colleague and the dear friend Prince Javier, who's also my batchmate in UP as mining engineering student, and um, he's also an AIM graduate actually for MSDS. So yeah, so this is us. We're trying to uh, um, try to build and bridge social gaps, as we say, one NGO, startups, or SME at a time. And because we have this vision for 2050, wherein there's two big problems that will happen. One is that there might be this artificial general intelligence that we wouldn't be feeling, or how are we going to be prepared, how are we going to be prepared of that time wherein there's artificial general intelligence already more than the AIs that we're creating right now. And uh, and also the environmental catastrophe. So these two things are the things that we're looking at, and we're trying to be prepared for it. And so we were looking, and we're saying that uh, we believe that through digital transformation and making sure that there's no NGO, startup, or SME left behind in transitioning to the digital world, then we might have a chance as a nation in terms of being there. Because right now we are actually, we have a lot of cybersecurity threats. We might be um, going through an era wherein the war is actually a cyber war, and we can be conquered via, as a nation, we can be conquered via the internet, or the cyberspace merely. So that's the reason why we established this Bridge 360, because of these two crises that we're looking at. So from here, um, so this is me and my team. So with Prince, I have my sister actually with me. She's a geologist, and she's working with me for this company. And I have our professor Aherico de Villa. He's also from UP Diliman. He was the first person who helped us out in building this company. And then I have my colleagues from uh, way back in high school, who's our chief technology officer, and our electrical engineer. And then we have our chief creative officer and also a legal officer. He is a former mayor from Candelaria, who he actually invested in the company. So we all believe that it's a VUCA world, as we said it as well here in AIM. So our approach is that we try to understand the problem as an IT company to help these NGOs and startups and SMEs. We try to understand their problem and make sure that we have this build, measure, learn loop as we help them out, so that they can discover new sources of growth, sustainable profit boost, and backward and forward compatibility. We highlight the backward forward compatibility because we are in the transition side, and thus all of our technology should be um, still adapting to the current technology, but at the same time can be updated for the next generations of updates for both softwares and hardwares. So basically, we're services that we provide is we actually give free systems thinking at some point, as well as design thinking, and even uh, problem diagnosis with our clients, so that they can really understand as well if what is their real problem, and so we can solve it with the right technology. And we do the UI UX design, we do web and mobile app development as well as its design. Actually, because of my colleague from the electrical engineering, who's also doing the 3D designing and printing, we also have research and development on AI. So we also develop something. So later on, I will just give you some glimpse of what our products are right now. So last year, actually, we focused on delivering on actually more on customized services, customized mobile application, website, and web app development. And this year we're going to focus actually on a different side for sustainability of the company. So we have digitization and digitalization, from book scanning to drawing and picture scanning. We have the scanning services. This is the first mobile application that we have created, which was launched last year nationwide and being used by DepEd. And there's actually a memo for this for all the regional offices to use the mobile application for participatory monitoring initiatives. So if you have a problem with your private schools, sorry, public schools, then you can use the mobile application to report them. So this one is actually the platform for waste management to increase waste diversion rate, which we call WASTE. This is the application before that we have created. And this is actually my capstone in AIM. But because of the changing landscape, and also truly the waste management problem is a wicked problem. Therefore, it took a long time for us to really get all of the facts. So dito pumasok yung maraming pivoting na ginawa namin, because we found out that this happens and this one is not going to work with them. So we had done a lot of changes, and so right now, this year, we're going to launch the new web application that is already a progressive one, and the new business model that is incorporated with the application. But still, it is a platform wherein we would want the waste diversion rate to be increased. Therefore, we're going to have zero landfill, or at least advocating near zero landfills through the use of barangay eco aids, through the use of from connecting the local government units, the real estate, the real estate developers, as well as companies who has this logistical capabilities to transport or haul waste to the right place. So yeah. And then this one is a research for us. So we still haven't launched this yet, but we have already created the application, where it's not useful right now because there's no traveling. So yeah, we have to put that pin. You have to pin it first. This one, we created a real estate app development for a company as in Canada, actually. So this is a real estate app, which looks like a Tinder basically for a real estate. Then we also created a queuing app for another client. So yeah, website development there. So I'll just show this one is a Bridge 360 AI portfolio, wherein We're just tinkering around the AI image colorizer. Started that last year. These were just one of the images that we've translated from black and white to a colored one. And then we also tried creating fish recognizer AI. So yeah, and these were all way back 2019. They were just R&D projects. So we had customers for 3D modeling and printing. And we are also doing research and development on creating 3D printed drones, because we were looking at the potential of the usage of the drones as 3D printed drones, so that we can deliver packages or maybe bigger packages or lighter so bigger packages for a longer time. So we're looking at that instead of the 20 minutes that's usual for the drones. And we had like host training. We are also a host training establishment wherein we take in IT interns. Yeah. So these are just one of our things that we're doing. Academy, Bridge 360 Academy, wherein we do data milk tea, some lectures. Yeah. And recently we have our Techie Guys It's Friday, basically TGIF, wherein we talk about mental models, we talk about critical thinking, we talk about systems thinking and design thinking there every Friday at 7 p.m. So yeah. So this year we're creating our own projects. Like for this one, we have a COVID-19 project. This actually won 2 awards. We got a grant from a Silicon Valley impact investor. We were given a $10,000 to create this project Moses. And we also won another award from Australia Hackathon, wherein it's also about COVID-19. So yeah, this is actually online. If you would, I'll show it later. Yeah. Right, so let me just show you. So this one is waste. So this is actually our test site, staging site. There, it's working. So you can select either you're a disposer or collector. So let's say I'm a disposer of garbage, and I would like to schedule a pickup. There, I'm from here. I'm gonna throw all of this stuff. I would like to sell it so that I just want additional money, or I can also donate it. So yeah, then send photos, and then you can find Echo Aid. So yeah, so that's how it works right now. And we have a platform wherein this is the admin side of things. So once you have logged in as an administration, like a local government unit, or you are a real estate developer, or you are a company who has you're a waste management company with logistics and trucks, then you can actually use this, because this is a live map and you can see if who's working, and these information are being saved in the background in our database, so that you can have a copy whether what routes were done by the collectors, either by your trucks or your Echo Aids, the one that has like kariton lang. So yun. So you can track the movement of your collectors there. So yeah. And then for the other projects, just a quick look. Sorry, can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can, Rach.
Okay po.
You have like 2 minutes more. Is it okay?
Okay. Yes po. So just to show you that this is actually the project Moses.ph. There's a lot of tools here that you can use, like self-assessment for COVID-19. We have real-time trackers right here. We have hospital directory, which you can use. They're fully functional. We even created the Citizens Patrol, wherein you can report if a certain road, if a clinic, if a grocery store or a pharmacy is closed, operational or not. And then we also have government announcements and news media. So it's a news aggregator basically. And then from here you can also have like research. You can go here to check out the researches that we have compiled. Yeah. So from World Health Organization, and then there's even animal model and treatment that we're looking at, treatment vaccines. So yeah. We've also aggregated all of the COVID-19 apps that actually was launched. So if you are looking for a specific case tracker or a specific application, you can go here and then you can see all of them here. Yeah. So that's COVID-19. Oh yeah. Actually, we also have this Tulong PH, or the needs matcher, wherein using this we can have like either you want to help or you can ask for help. So yeah, and then you will be matched. So we also created this POS, and we're looking at this as a product for future use and
Okay.
business model. This one is an AI. So if you just want to check it out, it's a bridge360.ai. So we've colored some of these photos that hasn't been colored. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then yeah, so these are just some of the products that we have created as well for our clients. Yeah. So if you would actually be interested for us, so what we do usually is tech products that, or digital products that has advocacy, or something that is uh, like maybe has a future use. So yeah. So if you would like to support us so that we can move forward and have our own products, especially that waste crisis is coming in uh, after the mental health, after this pandemic,
Okay.
there's still a bigger problem out there, which is climate change, and waste is going to be part of it.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rach. We'll have a few minutes for Q&A. Probably 3 or 5 minutes. Dr. Giselle, is that okay?
Yes, Luisa, very
Okay.
interesting. I'd ask our other PAASE members to ask the questions. I'd like to introduce Dr. CP David, who's former director of the DOSTP Sherd. So CP, thanks for joining us. You may have a question for Rage, and then Al, and then myself, and Vicky may ask questions. There, CP? Dr. David, CP, are you there?
Yeah, I
know
think.
you.
Hi, everyone.
There you are. Yes.
Hi, Rage.
Hi po.
Congrats
Kamusta, sir?
sa company mo. It seems that your team is doing a lot of things. Quite
Yeah.
diversified, I must say. But at some point, are you thinking of focusing on just a few services? Because you might be spreading yourself too thinly at a certain point when you have clients in all platforms and products.
Yes po. Actually, we're transitioning from the usual customizing of customized products to a more just one product. So we're developing right now the waste app, so that we will be focusing on that app next year.
Okay. Maybe you can think of other low-hanging fruits, because at this point in time, there might be no need for the waste app until you are able to convince LGUs, because there's a system already of waste generation and collection through the LGU, and that is scheduled, as you know. So there's really no need for scheduling a specific pickup unless you're going to sell something, yung mga uh, recyclers. So I think the barrier there is convincing an LGU in using your waste app, which I think is good. It becomes it makes the system more efficient.
Yeah, thank you po for that. Actually, we're going to start with the companies itself muna before the LGUs, because we understood, actually we've tried a lot of dialogues with them. While they said na they would need this, at some point medyo matagal yung usapan. So really tama po kayo na medyo mahirap if going towards LGU right away. But as a low-hanging fruit, actually, even Globe is already tapping us, and they wanted to use our platform na. So yun, sila siguro yung magiging low-hanging fruits.
Do you have a question? Thank you. I'd like to follow through CP David's comment. And that's right. You have as potential clients, government, and the private sector. So it's nice to know from CP that there are such efforts already from the government. But nonetheless, always for any product, especially digital products, it would be nice to test the product and showcase it. So I always believe that best thing is to try it in a small community. So if you have a cooperative, progressive mayor LGU you're aware of, then you could actually, you know, show whether it works better than what the government is planning, right? And you can make a comparison. So competition is always good. Okay. Now you also have a product for fish AI or visuals, and you might be aware that one of UP Diliman's best commercializable products is Fish Eye. Fish Eye, which is developed by our Director of Computer Science, Cross Naval, and my colleague at the Marine Science Institute, Laura David. And it's in a very advanced stage of being able to identify, discriminate different types of fish in their environment for very, very commercial purposes, as well as for biodiversity conservation. So there's a lot of information already on Fish Eye, even in the internet. But Jaisal, I really am so impressed with your advocacy on waste. And I know it's coming from your experience and knowledge based on your studies of mining, engineering, and mining waste as well. So waste is found not just in land, but also in sea. And so I think that's admirable and commendable. But then again, you could suggest to target specific industries. You have been able to get funding from Silicon Valley as well as from Australia. That's already an affirmation of, what you're doing, the quality of your work. So I myself, I would be interested maybe in your services, and I'm just so curious, how much it costs and what the package contains, and you're into everything. And I know the tendency is for business to focus on one, but then you have a technology that's liberating and it's really progressive. So I can understand why you're trying to just offer the service to so many clients for many applications. But I'm so curious whether, aside from that, you actually have also the capability for doing materials engineering, because you talk about 3D printing. So you have a 3D printer, and you're
Yes.
saying you're not just modeling it or designing, you're actually producing it, the materials. You're trying to produce a drone, right?
Yes
So,
po.
wow. So to
Napalipad na
me,
rin siya, pero
pag na siya.
bumagsak ng ilang beses.
Pero no, that's part of it. No, so I think that's so important. My third or fourth point, I've made so many points already, is this. I know that all of us, including we scientists and engineers in PAASE, we're always thinking of projects that control negative effects. So waste recycling, pollution, plastic pollution, etc., etc. And CP made a very important point, which is the cyclical economy. I think all of us know this. So recycling. So he's saying, we not just waste segregation, but maybe move on to apps that would allow waste recycling, right? Which brings me to maybe my fifth point, and that is this. So when I think of problems in our country, they're, wow, overwhelming. You really have to think of how to address the major problems. And I say that aside from trying to stop the bad things that are going on, like, okay, bad governance, corruption, you also have to simultaneously uh, address progressive uh, projects. Okay, so how do we move towards greater progress in our country? How do we improve, say, our GDP or our per capita? And we always say the wealth of our nation is our natural resources. Another wealth is our, well, relatively highly educated workforce and young workforce, creative workforce like you. So my own concern always has to do with reducing poverty, improving food and nutrition, reducing hunger. So I'm always concerned now about agriculture, food, and nutrition. So I'm saying, wow, if you were able to capture a market to make, the food industry or food entrepreneurs, to make the food value chain more efficient and profitable, I think that would be good. And I know one of your classmates was into coffee, and he was trying to get, the harvest and post-harvest stages of coffee more efficient. And he had actual experience on the ground already, not just apps. Okay, so that's an example of how we think we should develop the digital economy and applications towards, uh, alleviating hunger and malnutrition. Okay, my final point, I'm so sorry I have so many points, but the sixth is this, regarding COVID-19. So you say that you have a website for COVID-19, information. And I always say, when it comes to health and disease, and I'm sure CP and Vicky and Al will support me in this, it's so important to have curated information. Curated, meaning high quality information. So there's so much information out there regarding COVID-19. But I would like to see that you are putting in your website or compiling only the highest quality COVID-19 information. And I'm just wondering, Jaisal, how you and your team would have the capability to evaluate or to assess whether a reference is or a database or a website is good, because you know as it is, scientists in the field, virologists, immunologists, MD scientists, they're already not one in their thinking about COVID-19. So I think what I'm saying is you need to get to the experts when it comes to a very, very highly scientific and medical problem like COVID-19. Okay, because you can capture the viewers, the market for this information, but you must make sure that the information is of a high quality. Those are my comments, Jaisal. Very impressive, Jaisal. Thank you so much.
Rage po.
I'm sorry, Rage. I like your nickname, Rage.
Pero hindi naman po ako galit.
Against the dying of the light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Know that poem?
Yeah. Just want to put in a comment yourself for Rage. Good job, Rage. I mean, I'm glad that you tried so many stuff and see what sticks. That's a good attitude. Keeps you busy. But eventually, as CP said, you eventually have to pick a business and focus on sustainability in the business model to make money. So I think that's probably where you're leading at after 3 years of putting around and seeing what you like and what you don't like. So keep at it. I have a few things for you, but we'll discuss that separately na lang. I can see your function in an ecosystem that we're developing here together. You're doing a good job. So keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Fantastic. I hope, Luisa, you can give us their emails because, you know, we can almost connect endlessly with other people. Okay?
Of course.
You have here stalwarts of the PAASE who are I really like smaller groups because then the discussions become very substantive. So maybe Vicky has something to say because this is also your area, Vicky. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, maybe the application is on smart agriculture because in UPLB, we have really a lot of so much information on databases, like for example, profile of soil fertility, and we have databases on different plant diseases, different plant pests and insects. So is it possible that, for example, we have a central station in UPLB housing agriculture experts, like for example, in the field of soil science, entomology, pathology, agronomy, crop physiology, and then the farmers in the field, they will just take picture of, for example, a diseased plant, and they will send the information to the central station, and then the experts will advise the farmers what they are going to do, if they are going to apply pesticide, or if they are going to fertilize the soil, if the soil looks like this. So something like that as an application for agriculture. Is it possible, Rage?
Yes po. Actually, one of the reasons why we were already working on the model, because the model that we have used is not a model from the TensorFlow, or it's not a model. It's actually our own model that we have created. So the Fish AI was just really like a project so that we can try the model of the identification, AI identification, so that we can reuse it to other things. So for example, we have actually reused that object identification and image recognition using the mobile application, the mobile app of Waste before, and then we integrated it there so that it can recognize bottles and paper, for example. So for that functionality, or for that use, it's actually very possible.
So thank you very much, Rach. Maybe we will need your email and we will correspond with you, discuss with you. Thank you, Rach.
Thank you po.
Thank you. So thank you so much, Rach. I hope you picked up from the comments and the questions. And I see you're already linking up with PAASE members through LinkedIn. That's good. Then you can continue the conversations there. I think that's really one of the ideas we had when we were asked by PAASE, Dr. Gisela, to engage. Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Continue the conversation, Rach. Don't leave us yet. I'd like for you to hear Mikey and Jaisal. So is it okay, Dr. Giselle, to move ahead?
course, it's
Thank you so
wonderful.
much for the opportunity, for
We're,
inviting me.
Can I just request Jaisal kung pwede? Kasi I need to leave at 9:30 for a grant meeting for USAID. So kung
Okay.
pwede marinig si Jaisal.
Okay.
who wants to
Thank you.
hear you?
Okay. So it's 9:30. Would you like for us
Special
to...
request.
Okay. Is it all right? We do 2 presentations magkasunod and then question and answer after. Would that be better?
Pwede. But
That's
well,
good.
Al
We'll
has
do
substantial.
Jaisal
Well,
first.
no, but as long as Al is able to ask his question to Jaisal and also to Mikey afterwards. So
Okay. We'll fast
9:30.
track. Okay. Go, Jaisal.
Sige. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So, just a quick introduction of who I am. I am currently an ambassador for the Philippines for Talk for Food. It's a global food community. I am a marketer by profession with 8 years of corporate work experience in an IT company. I've been handling different projects since then. And I'm a proud graduate of Master of Science in Innovation and Business. So congratulations to all the graduates with Mikey here and Eman, my colleague. Yes, good job, guys. So right now, I've been involving myself in local and global food literacy projects because my background is more corporate. So I'm now starting a new track, which is more a food innovator and entrepreneur. So later on, I'll share what my startup is, what Eman and I have been working on. But just a brief overview, it's a food content platform. We encourage healthy food conversations and we educate diners at home to know what the sources of the foods from local growers, sellers, and even food entrepreneurs. As a global food ambassador, I currently raise awareness on plant-based education and farm-to-table innovation. Recently, I just organized a watch party last World Food Day, and this coming December, I'll be doing a global food project that tackles World Soil Day. Currently, I'm providing marketing and branding support for a leading food tech brand in the Philippines. So I'm really involving myself in the food space. From corporate, now I'm shifting my perspective to food tech and agricultural innovation. There. So just to share with you, before I present my startup, Emin and I, our startup, please think of this vision. So I and Eman, we envision a food literate society by 2030. And so we come to realize, what if there's a platform wherein we educate people on what to shop, what to buy, get to know the SMEs, get to know the sellers, and be involved in the food. So Padama is actually right now, Padama is a version 3.0. Padama started as a food allergy platform. So if someone asks why Padama, so the name actually is a abbreviation of Patient Access Dashboard and Patient Access Dashboard and Matching Analytics. We do match restaurant menus with specific like food restrictions and food allergies. But COVID came and we have to step back. We have to reinvent our market. Currently, before our market will be the restaurants, but since COVID came, we have to step back and we have to take a closer look. A very interesting market this during pandemic. So let me introduce to you Jane. Jane is a 28-year-old advertiser. She currently lives in Parañaque, and she's part of the work from home professionals, so the 520,000 work from home professionals with an income belonging to 120,000 and above bracket. So Jane's eating habits have changed. So before, she used to buy food, from near her workplace or go to groceries by herself. But for now, things actually change. So let's have a very quick example. Jane she needs to buy cheese. So what I and Eman did is, okay, as a trend forecaster and also as a networker, let's figure out what data will Jane need. So we figure out that there are actually five and more channels wherein Jane gets data. So she gets data with her friends, which is easy to get. It might not be curated selection because it's what the friends preferred will be. Let's say you can buy this cheese from my friend. And most of the time, we don't know if the recommendation actually is good for our health or not. Same with Grab Food. It's easy to get info. You just open the app, you search for your restaurant, the restaurant or menus that you're familiar with. But let's say you are taking pala medication, or let's say you are boundary in your diabetes or something, you have limited knowledge on where to buy exactly the food that you need. For Google, it's more of a self approach. So if, let's say, you want to search for something, it will give you gazillions of data. And if you join a Viber group, it will share a lot of information, but sometimes it's too much and there's no way for you to keep track of the food sources that you need to buy and even to get to know. And lastly, there are these social channels such as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. They provide you easy to get information. They even provide you healthy content, but it's not curated because it's for the general public. So what we found out, which is a great opportunity of pivoting from a food allergy platform, is people actually is very involved in food data day to day, but not everyone is actually familiar with community food data. So what is this food community data about? We want to keep the search process in less time. So less time browsing. We want to introduce more and more sellers in the knowledge bank of each and every consumer. And we want diners at home to learn their food health snapshot. There. So I put here work in progress interface because this is last June 2020. We had our defense and we shared that this interface. So if you're a diner at home, you get to go to our website. You search, let's say you type cheese, we will be having advanced filters in terms of budget type, in terms of where are you located, in terms of what are your preference. And the interesting part is you get to know these sellers. Like, okay, this seller, let's say Jaisal Carinderia or Jaisal Artisanal Cheese. You get to know where the food is sourced, the story of the sellers, how they even made that business into a reality, what are their advocacies. You can even join it. And let's say you've been searching all throughout our app, to our website for quite some time. We will be giving you a snapshot. Oh, okay, you've been researching this kind of cheese, and we found out that this cheese you're looking for artisanal. When artisanal means this percentage, and you can even have a glimpse of your food search history. So I put here a caveat. We will be releasing a more updated look and food user profiling by Jan 2021. So we're currently working with a developer, a designer, a UX designer to help us map out the customer journey of how people actually do search and then how are they influenced to buy afterwards. All right. And sorry, there. So for our phase one, we'll be we will be just focusing on the key areas in Metro Manila. We are targeting to onboard, to have potential users at 126K and grow our SME community partners with 300 healthy food SMEs, 50 food chat groups, and 20,000 food shops. So if you can see here, there's a map. We'll be starting in Parañaque and Makati, which we're doing right now, followed by in the middle of 2021, including QC, and hopefully by on the third year, it's the whole Metro Manila. Okay, let's talk about food and health. So I keep on telling food community data. So Emin and I really took a step back. You know, we've been really hit by COVID and we have to face in our face that we have to change our market. We're not talking about restaurants and their menus. We're talking about diners at home. And so we felt that, okay, where do we get data and how do we even MVP our concept of using content for them to sell, to actually buy products from sellers. So we started Padama Talks, start last June 20, which is our defense and demo day, and we've been doing it ever since. So last June we shared our story. Last July we've reached out. We've been doing healthy swaps recipes. Episode 3, we've reached out to 2 renowned chefs. They shared their recipes and kitchen hacks also on how to eat healthy. Episode 4, we've reached out to mompreneurs, and they share their back to school healthy snacks. And recently we've partnered with Sabrina's Kitchen to actually share 2 interesting recipes for a healthy gut. And we're very happy with the results. We've had 1,500 plus online interactions. We have live participants like 20 to 30. Similar in this case, we do also webinar. Our food experts have, our list has been growing, and currently so far we have total of 5 hours plus food video content where these webinars we were able to get recipes, get data, get the stories of the speakers, and also get the recommendations that will help in our curation. And we want to take it step further. So, okay, we've been building our food data through conversations. Now, how do we taste? How do we taste test in a way our concept of influencing people to buy when they do search or when they involve in this conversation? So this coming 11/11, we'll be doing Padama Live. So if you see, we have different buckets. Padama Talks will be just focusing on the community, engaging this community. And the next movement is actually engaging this community to buy products that we are like talking about in the platform. So we will be doing unboxing stories. We'll be inviting an influencer and the sellers to talk about their products. We will be doing sign up and shop. So we're in, if they're interested to that specific item or food item that that the influencer mentioned, they can actually order, like advance order those items, and when they do so, they get to get a copy, a guide from us on how to learn more about that product, and we will be even be giving out recipes also. So we'll be testing it at 11/11 and also at 12/12. So we are doing a soft launch at 11/11. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, basically we are really a startup company that actually loves to build on data, share that data, and use that data to empower diners at home to reach out to sellers, to get to know them. And we're disrupting a new innovation business model, as I say, wherein we're using affiliate. So Patama is acting like an affiliate to help the sellers reach out to the diners at home segment. So do follow our channels. We have our Facebook channel, facebook.com/Padama app, our Instagram account. You can see all our like all our stories and conversations there. You can even check all our posts. Like, people are really commenting, this is good, this is a good topic, this is my dad would like it. So, and even we also have our LinkedIn page, and currently we're fixing our email. But you can for now reach us to our AIM emails if you want to have a product demo and further discussion on how we really collect, mine, and crunch data to influence people to buy by knowing and by learning their food. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much, Jaisal. Probably one question from Sir Al, and then we'll move to Mikey. So we'll cover all within time.
Sure.
Yes.
Thanks, Jaisal. I think I'll give you a shot. I'll give you a test case. They have, as I mentioned from Davao, it's actually Malagos cheese, the one that makes Malagos chocolate. She used to sell a ton of cheese to Philippine Airlines. Problems, no flight now. So
All right.
we were talking about in August. Let's see how you can do this. I'll set up a call with her. And,
Great.
Exactly around the area that you're doing. So thank you for your So I'll for the benefit of I'll listen to the one. I still have 10 minutes.
Okay. Good. Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. So I'd like to introduce Mikey. He's an urban planner. So I won't take up much your time. Go, Mikey. No sound, Mikey.
I'm sorry, sharing
Yeah,
screen.
there. Well,
Hold
go.
on.
Share screen.
All right. Do you see my screen? Sorry. Hello.
Yes, Mikey, we see your screen.
All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us. So the startup or capstone that we've developed, it's called City Manager. So the tagline is your partner for data-driven governance. I'll give you first a brief background on who we are and what are our expertise to come up with this kind of project development. So very briefly, I'm a licensed urban planner in the Philippines, and currently, actually before going to AIM, I was taking up my master's in urban regional planning. But right now, thinking of resuming it again. But here's my team. So we're made up of urban planners, and Philip is our real estate appraiser, licensed real estate appraiser, and then we have a geodetic engineer. So for the past 5 years, I've been in Mindanao mostly. So I've been the project director of the recently accomplished Metropolitan Davao Master Plan. It's a 20-year plan concerning 8 cities. And overall, I think I've planned more or less around 20 cities all around the country. So is Carlo. So we've been planning cities, we've been working with LGUs for quite a while already. And with that, also we've been promoting better urbanism in the country. So we've been engaged with the Society of Urban Planners, and we've been giving talks with regards to planning. So here's our product. So in the Philippines, if not most know, that more than 60% of Philippine cities are not planned. And this the data that would show us and what's going on with our cities outside Metro Manila. And there are about 1,600 local government units in the country. And hello.
Hello, Mikey. If you're having difficulty in internet, you can turn off your video.
Right. I'll turn off my video.
Okay.
So in the Philippines, there's about 1,600 cities that don't have a plan. And that's 60%. So what do we do? So given this problem, since it is a mandate to plan the cities, if you're the mayor of the city, sometimes you're flustered on where to start. So most of the time, because of scarce resources, you're confronted with traffic, with disaster, with pollution, and you only have so much budget. So we've encountered cities that has a budget of less than 50 million pesos. And if you think about it, to build one section of road, 100 meters road, that's gonna cost you around 30 million already. So many LGUs are having problems, especially the mayors, on how to be decisive on how to use their budget. And to show with you, this is an actual plan that we did. No, this is what a city plan looks like in the Philippines. And it's more than 1,000 pages long. So if you're the mayor or the decision maker of the city, you'd be overwhelmed on how thick of a report that you would read. we all know that probably they won't even read the report that you do. So most of the time, many of the reports of the city, those who have a city plan, will not have implemented this report because they've not gone through it. Only people around them. So what's the pain point? So usually, one of the reasons that mayors are not so keen in planning their cities, because in an election cycle, they only have 3 years to become mayors. And typically, a city plan will take 2 years to accomplish, 18 months to be exact. So we were thinking, what if we develop a platform and we've done it? How if we can reduce the time of planning cities to half, from 2 years to 6 months? So that's the goal. And how did we do that? Since because of our background, we're able to understand where the bottlenecks comes from, and usually the bottleneck is in collaboration stages, wherein the politicians who will make the decision does not fully grasp the recommendations. Hence, it's a back and forth that never ends until their term lapses for another campaign cycle. So what we do is we develop a technology wherein you can plan your city faster, and then you can visualize the plans, the complex intricacies of a city plan, and you would be able to interact with the plan. So I'll show with you the actual thing that we've developed. So when planning Davao, we developed a city manager platform. So what does the platform do? So imagine if you're the mayor of the city and you're not quite aware on the vast resources of your city. So the platform automatically tells you how much open space do you have, how much agriculture space is allocated for the city, as well as how much government property there is that is probably idle in the city. And in this platform, before it will need you to use supercomputers to even operate something like this. But right now, we've developed a system wherein you just need your smartphone and you just log on into a website. Any laptops, any tablets, any cell phone, you can operate this with minimal training. It's like Project Noah, but for urban planning. And some of the things that you can see with this platform are flag hazard, land use plans, infrastructure, all in one platform. So what are some of the use cases that we've developed? So this is called a community-based management system, CBMS. So right before a typhoon, we can already process what will be the probability of number of families affected by the typhoon. And with that, we will be able to alert immediately the barangay concerned, even to the Purok level, on, for example, for a signal number 1 typhoon, on what communities will be affected immediately. Apart from that, for the economic application, we are able to help the cities to see and analyze why is it certain families in certain areas have lesser income available. So, for example, this barangay, you can see a cluster wherein the income is much higher. So this system helps you understand the relationship, good road network of proximity to hospitals and schools. But more importantly, it gives you a snapshot where people are congregating naturally. So I'll show you a very, very quick understanding of the platform, other capabilities. So this Metropolitan Davao. So what we did here is through the map that you see are actually the population density. We would be able to see where will be the densest areas of the city. Also, we've also developed a way on wherein the city could appreciate. This is the flood hazard map of the city, and they were quite surprised to see that most of the population are living in maximum flood hazard areas, and they were quite also surprised to see that many creeks that they didn't know existed were built over by developers. So this were able to help them see potential flooding in many areas of the city. So also we've built predictors or forecasters within the application. And this is very important, especially for cities, because it gives them an idea if they have to increase health budget as well as request budget from local government. Because there's a rule that if you have more population, usually national budget allocates more. So predictor here forecasts uh, which areas will be urbanizing and which areas will be an urbanized area soon. So this is the model. So other use cases. So our system has a very simple step-by-step process. One, we collect data. When we collect data, usually agencies are surprised on how much data that they have. But usually those data are scattered all over government agencies, from the departments of the city to the province to the region to national. So most of the time, they're surprised that within their departments or among departments in local government, they have data that they don't see. And most of the time, they make decisions by not seeing the data of their co-departments. So what we do is we collect all of those data, we curate the data, and we can curate the data into thematic themes: household, land use, environment, economic development. And on top of that, we can do data research because that's our line of work if they don't have those existing data at hand. Then we develop an interactive model which visualizes the collected data. I think this is the beauty of the model because for many decision makers, they find it difficult to sift through a lot of statistical data. So it is very difficult to comprehend in such a way when they have to make a decision based on the factors of all these data. So by visualizing the data and the system that I've showed you, they'll be able to see on how each factor affects the other. And lastly, after we've created the visualization data, which they can collaborate real time, strategic governance can be faster. So these are actual plans that are required by government: CBMS, CLUP, climate change adaptation, and provincial development framework. And we're happy to share with you that we have 5 cities that already engaged with us. So these are actual projects that we built, were commissioned by the cities. This is Ilocos. So what we did is we surveyed which areas would have the highest tourism arrivals. So then the city can be better guided on how to develop these tourism areas. So we have a tourism area priority score wherein we develop a scorecard to tell us which areas has the best tourism potential. There's another one. We built this for Cabadbaran City. So we have a lot of Mindanao projects. So for the city of Cabadbaran, we develop a web map wherein the city can see their land assets because they find it quite difficult to sell to investors, which areas can be the highest potential for their development. This naman is our current ongoing project. This in Zamboanga, Pagadian. So we've developed a system wherein we can locate interest points of proximity such as schools and barangay halls in urban areas. So this is a process that we call geotagging. So by this kind of data, they'll be able to interact with the data and they can add data as they please. So one of the things that we've presented it to some DOH officials, wherein they can simply plug the data here directly from the hospitals. So the local government can see a live watch of their hospitals if they want to use the platform. So the platform is easy enough for them to plug and use the data. And this is our most comprehensive developed software wherein for 8 cities of Davao, we're able to interrelate traffic, disaster, road projects, flood hazard, water sources, transportation routes, density, all of those. And they can easily now see on how, and appreciate how these are interrelated. This is the first time that the Davao area we're able to see the plans of all 8 cities combined side by side. So these help everyone to see what were the priorities of other cities, and we were able to detect some discrepancies, most especially in terms of we don't have solid waste management plans that are integrated. They don't have integrated transport plans, and they were not aware where the stations of the proposed railway will be. So the platform helped them visualize on how it will affect all of these. And we were proud to share with you that our partner, Mindanao Development Authority, has shared with us in the Bimpiaga meetings. So they wanted us, well, prior to the death of Secretary Alonto, we were planning to develop more apps for the Bimpiaga. So with that, that's City Manager. Thank you for allowing us to present. And we're happy that many cities, most especially during pandemic, has cited interest in developing these platforms for their cities. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mikey. So we'll open the floor for questions since we're running a little bit late. Yeah, do you have questions or feedback for both Padama and City Manager?
Al, are you still around?
Yes. Yeah, they're still around. Mikey and Jaisal are there, and then we have.
Does Al have a question, or is he left? Al. Okay, then it looks like he's gone. So maybe request CP, David, and Vicky. I have a couple of comments and questions. So CP, would you like to respond or to give feedback to Padama and to City Manager? So,
oh, he says we'll do so in a couple of minutes. He says he typed.
He must be in another meeting. So in my case, I will just make a comment to congratulate Mikey and your partners for City Manager. I was so impressed with it when I heard it. That's why I requested Luisa if you could present today, because this is an example of how you can really make a big difference with, progressive, supportive, enabling and not disabling programs in the city. And in the PAASE, we actually have champions of what we call S&T and innovation ecosystems being created in these regions, and it would be regional. And of course, what would be so important would be the infrastructure and the softer structure, which is really the planning of the city together with its cyber structure. And this we would always try to uh, make the basis for attracting what I call the suprastructure, or the expert human capital that could move the that society or that LGU or the region forward. And in particular, one of our members in the PAASE, who is a former dean of the National College of Administration and Public Governance, Edna Ko. She expanded this idea further, which had been espoused in the UP Knowledge paper on hubs and spokes models, to include the natural boundaries of these, these localities or these provinces, the natural boundaries and the natural resources. And I think that is what Mikey and his team is trying to do, is trying to identify spaces, the physical spaces where these might be idle land, agricultural land, open spaces, etc., to create a city that is environmentally sustainable for future Earth. So I would like to congratulate Mikey again, and you've moved forward. You've partnered. I know that the Palafox group is very influential in the area, and that helps. And so my only comment and question is, how do you granularize your data? How do you get to on the ground data for household income? That seems to be a lot of investment on your part. How accurate is your data? And secondly, how does it compare with the data that is provided by the NEDA? So as early as the time of Artifact, there was already in their website data, pretty granular data on each region of the country, in terms of population, income, and the natural sources, major industries, etc. And now we have more granular data from the Philippine Statistics Authority. So I think that's my question to Mikey on the data, accuracy of your data.
Well, I'm happy to share. I'm really happy to share that our data is more accurate than NEDA. And why is that? Because the household data that you see, we did the actual door-to-door data collection. We really knocked on the doors of the people. We really asked the questions from them straight. So we're not using statistical model in some of the areas, but we really do the on-ground data collection. We do the dirty stuff.
That's great to know. But I'm sure you had some statistical, statistically valid way of doing your door-to-door. There's nothing like getting.
Yeah, that's the challenge. There is such thing as CBMS, and DILG has been pushing for it. It's called Community-Based Management System. The CBMS is supposed to replace the statistical model that PSA is doing because we found a lot of discrepancies. The margin of error is so large under when you're talking about regions. No? So you have plus minus millions of people. It affects the budget badly. But CBMS is being pushed, so it's like a data science for LGUs, wherein they really have to invest on door-to-door data, which they do through census. But the problem is the census method that they use only talks about population. And we've told to them that when you do door-to-door, you actually can ask more questions because the census model is still the same. And instead of just asking population, which we demonstrated to them in Samar, we did it in Samar, we took a look at do you have water tapping points? Do you have access to gripo, or is it deep well, or is it do you walk? So what is your health status? So a simple survey can be expanded. They've not realized that a simple survey can be expanded better. And the LGs actually has the capacity because a barangay is further subdivided into puroks. In the puroks, you would have mothers. We found out that they would have mothers who don't have work, who just stay in the barangay hall or the purok hall and are waiting for jobs. And what's the best way to engage the community? By engaging someone they know. So that's exactly what we did. We paid barangay workers to help us collect data. But of course, there are costs involved in this. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we've been working on.
So that's great, Mikey. I know it costs. So you're willing to put the investment, but then again, it's good that you're independent of the LGU because the LGU could actually, ideally, in an upright governance, then it could be driven by the LGU. But then if they're the ones allocating the funding or investments in different aspects of city development, then it serves well to have an independent source of the data. So you've showcased your model with a particular, is it a barangay, an LGU unit? So it's good to see that you have this this LGU with the data.
Well, I'll share something cool pa. Something awesome na we've developed, because this used to cost you millions and millions. No? So the basic data collection visualization, we can do it under 500,000. So we've reduced the price 10 times. And this gave access to all LGUs with this kind of system that they want. Because most of the time, they don't know what data they don't have. So we prefer that we develop the platform first so that they see the gaps. And this costs so little compared to the budgets they're receiving. And I think that's the reason there's big interest for this kind. Because technology has helped us do this through the years.
Fantastic. Technology driven, that's the whole point of it. So the cost reduction is technology driven. So
Yes.
I have one other question, and I do have a question for Tadama as well, but maybe we can do the questions of Vicky and CP and others to you before we move to Jinsel. But I also want to know whether you would have a basis for maybe stemming corruption in the LGUs, in the LGU level. Seriously, no, you could do it because of the data that you have. So it's like a feedback. So if you say you have this places or many roads that are not paved, is there a way for you to
Actually,
see how
Prof,
to do that
Prof,
kind of thing?
it's there.
Yes.
It's there,
Yes.
but we don't advertise it.
You don't advertise it, but then
Yeah, but
yes.
the population, like for example, for Davao, they get to see where the budget goes in terms of road projects. So they know how much is allotted per road segment. But of course, we're quite sensitive with that. Also, we have the tax mapping. We actually have the data on how much taxes each area should pay. And the LGU knows, actually they know um, which techniques are being used to skirt some of those tax.
Okay, so I have something, one final, having to do with private sector interest and how you're also dealing with that. And you actually mentioned Project NOAA, okay, of the DOST and the UP, okay, and the GIS. And then now you're saying, wow, you're doing it at this scale and for a much lower cost and already accessible through your cell phone and your laptop. That is fantastic. Okay, then I recall, and CP is here to confirm this with me, that the reservation then of the DOST to share the GIS, the Project NOAA, or the LIDAR project, was to the level of detail that would give the maps of the land terrain. Is that actually the private sector, the real estate developers are so interested in that. So when UP had I know that UP and the DOST held this, festival at the PICC, and one of our leading taipans, our leading taipan, was a special guest. The first thing she was interested in was this, the maps. And of course, we know it is for further real estate development, right? Including high rise. You know what I mean? So I think that the DOST and the UP have this kind of, social responsibility or ethical issues regarding this. And urban planning is what would, I think sound urban planning is what would try to also stem the uncontrolled development of high rises that impact on traffic, pollution, etc., and waste, etc. So that's my final comment, and maybe CP is ready to give a comment on city manager Vicky as well. Then
I'll just
afterwards,
give a quick clarification, Prof. So our system is made possible because of the groundwork laid out by the OST as well. They spent hundreds of millions for the LiDAR data, and many institutions are benefiting from it. That's why it has been costly for them to do.
We're losing you, Mikey. We're losing you.
Sorry.
We can't
The
hear you,
ground.
Mikey.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Please repeat. Okay.
Clarification. The groundworks. The reason that we're quite successful is because of the groundworks done by the UST. They spent hundreds of millions for the LiDAR data, which we did not have years. And because of that, all of us are benefiting from it. Sadly, because of that cost, the UST may find it very expensive to do it over and over again. But the thing that they have established is a repository of geological data, which NAMRIA has also stored. So yeah, this is made possible because of the efforts of the OST, and we recognize that.
Mikey, it was actually 1.6 billion pesos for the LiDAR project. I was the one who approved up the funding during its last 2 years. And alam mo, speaking of LiDAR, it's really good to hear that there are other people using it because at the time when the project was running, it was really just an expense account without much users. No, it's just data gathering, and therefore it's really refreshing to know that there are people who are able to use it. And you're right, hindi siya mauulit just because of the cost involved, with it. Same with Project Noah. I was one of the project leaders of the original Project Noah until it got disbanded. Ang daming na-develop doon, and the bottleneck was actually passing this on to government agencies like PAASE and ENR for them to use it. We forgot that we can develop all these tools but not prepare those who will be eventually using it in the government agencies. No? So on hindsight, baka dapat they go hand in hand. A quick question to Jazel. Actually, congratulations everybody. You guys are so young and yet you're doing all these trailblazing projects. Sustainability will be an issue at some point in time when you tell yourself, okay, I have to also support myself and my family doing what I like, no?
Yes.
And so you will come at a crossroad wherein, okay, you will get a project that's not super interesting, but it will pay the bills.
Yes.
And ganyan.
Yes.
And that will come if it hasn't come just yet. No? So I'm just warning you that there are tough decisions later on. Speaking of food, I'm a geologist, so I don't know anything about food. But when I was in DOST, I funded a project on Adlay, Jaisel.
Oh, okay. I know.
And Adlay is, to me, is the perfect alternative to rice. Not
correct.
only in terms of nutrition. Ma'am Giselle, Adlay is 50% carbs and almost 50% protein. So it's good for dieting. It's good for feeding programs and so on.
Yes.
The
High in nutrition.
bottleneck naman in Adlay is that if you plant a hectare of Adlay compared to rice, your yield will actually be smaller.
Yes.
And that the wild varieties of Adlay in Bukidnon, they actually grow almost 3 meters high. Ang hirap i-harvest. Until a project in 2016 did a hybrid for Adlay to increase its yield. And now the Adlay plants are no more than 2 meters high. So madali na siyang i-harvest. And I'm the licensee of that hybrid variety, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So,
galing.
ayaw ko kung if that's something that you want to push. Right now, it's 200 pesos per kilo. So it's definitely not for the masa. But I think it will be a good alternative, no? I look at it as a crop that is less water intensive,
Intensive.
much
Correct.
like corn, wherein you don't need to
Need too
flood
much water.
your rice
Yes.
paddies, and yet you get a grain like rice that you also cook in your rice cooker.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we need help in pushing that particular product.
All right, all right. Just to share, yeah, for our last Padama Talks episode, we partnered with Sabrina's Kitchen, and her recipe is actually about adlay turmeric adobo. And then she shared the healthy benefits and also how to prepare and cook adlay. And when I asked her about like where do you actually get your ingredients, because it's very important. And again, that's our like Padama's foundation and our also advocacy na people, hindi enough na people know na this is a healthy food. They have to eat it. They have to buy it, and they have to like experience it in their lives. And I felt that when you shared about your Adlai story and how it really like how you take care of that Adlai and how you and the problem and the challenges also. Parang I think Padama can actually be a bridge also to help in making sure that when we educate, we also helping the families of those na if you buy Adlai by just enroll or by just being in our platform, in Padama platform, then we felt na parang it's a two-way win-win. We help the farmers, we sell your product, and then they get to know na Adlai is a good product for their health.
Mm.
So yeah, it's something that we would like to discuss further.
Yeah.
And
So Eman just messaged that
yes,
you're partners with the
Hinilaban
Nilaban
Foundation.
Farms.
Yes, 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 yes.
So it's that variety that we worked on for several years to improve its yield and actually shorten the stalks.
Wow.
So yeah, it's easier to cultivate and you get more adlay.
Yes, yes, yes. Well,
Wala pa
looking
sa
forward.
kanila yung seeds na yon.
Wala pa. Okay. But yeah, definitely we will keep in touch with you. Let's see how we can like help you in the channel and also marketing. So think of Patama as we help local growers. We provide the channel. We also provide the we felt that marketing is also a science in itself. Kasi when people don't understand what they eat or where the source or even the sellers, if they don't hear the stories, then they'll be not be able to appreciate what they buy. So I think this the trend right now, I keep on saying a trend for caster because I've actually learned it in my MSIB journey, is you really see that more and more people actually take conscious effort to get to know themselves, being mindful on their mental health, also being mindful on what they do to others, being mindful on like on circular economy. So more and more people are starting to be involved in this, and more communities nga ang nakikita namin ni Emma na parang, oh, there are a lot of different communities. For example, my stint as an ambassador, like I felt that the plant-based community actually is growing, and it can introduce more and more different eating lifestyle. Now I felt that this is the perfect time to really raise awareness and let people buy. It's really our intention. People buy the right products from themselves. So there,
That's
exciting times.
perfect. Yeah, it's perfect for Padama because it's a plant-based protein source.
Plant meats, yes, yes, yes. We'll be introducing different kinds actually of diet. So we have like the plant-based. You also have to get to understand what are the pescatarian eating habits, the keto eating habits, the paleo. How will they even interact with each other? Because we felt that we want to make sure that people have parang they start to eat right, and then we can influence them on living a lifestyle over time. So yeah, exciting times, and thank you so much CP for really sharing your ad life story. Okay, bala ko rin and I even asked, sorry, I even asked pala Sabrina, can you may isip ba to do like urban farming, like smart farming in your home? Kasi people like if you want to try to grow your food, then much more na parang you put your like your time in it and you're more involved. So and then she said, "Oh, easy lang mag-raise ng adlay from your backyard." So I think tahi-tahi talaga lahat ng ecosystem about food from food waste, food source, and even food literacy. They're all interrelated, and Emma and I are very excited on how Padama will even evolve in the coming years. Kaya we've been testing, we've been pivoting, and we've been really using data to guide us through our next project or next initiative. Thank you.
CP, any more? I think Luisa has to leave now, so she might say a few words and then we can continue.
Yeah, sure.
Because,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gisela. I think our students or graduates are really, okay, need this opportunity to share what they know and help scientists, and vice versa. The scientists on themselves can also share their knowledge to enrich whatever has been developed by our students. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Probably we could have something like this for the other capstone groups. We can talk about it, have themes, and invite our students so that the discussion, the community for this kind of thinking, new paradigms, new spaces with the young students we have will be created and nurtured.
It's fantastic, Luisa. I am willing. I am so willing. It only takes CP, myself, Al, and Vicky, to contribute something little to your graduates. But I'm learning so much myself, and I have lots more questions for Jaisal. But I still want to hear first from CP because he might leave, and also from Vicky because he's agriculture. Yes.
But so I go ahead. Thank you so much. But I'd like to thank TIP.
Thank you so much.
We have participants from TIP as well. I just like to acknowledge, I just researched them. I saw their names and then researched them. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Dr. Gisela. Thank you, Dr. David.
Thank you so much, TIP.
Thank you, MSIB.
Very progressive institute, TIP. And our last Fireside chat was with their president, Elizabeth Lajos, is a very outstanding, trailblazing woman president. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. Good partners, the TIP, students and faculty, all good partners.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Luisa. May I ask Vicky, are you still around? Do you have other questions? Because if not, others might want to ask. Ruji, Dave, Jasper, Jennifer, Cheryl, sorry for not acknowledging you yet, but please feel free to ask questions. Rico, you might want to say something because otherwise, oh my gosh, I have so much to share with or ask Jaisal.
I'm just listening and capturing all of the insights. I think it's fascinating how we've got all of these minds in one room that really moves things forward. Yeah.
I'm always, I had a chance to mentor so many graduate students in my lab group, and I always listened to my students who knew more than me in some areas. So this is the same. So we look to the youth for young, vibrant wisdom. That's what I always say. Okay? So we respect their accomplishments and their visions as well. So anybody wants to speak? Just feel free to make comments. It looks like Vicky is no longer here. So if I may, Rico and Jaisal, I would like to again suggest that, PAASE scientists and engineers are always here to help you, and I could connect you with some of them. And you could visit the PAASE website because we have a membership directory which would tell you the expertise of each of us. And let me say that Jaisal, for this to be sustainable, Padama, which is admirable, you would have to infuse even more food and nutrition science in Padama. Yes.
That's
You
something
know,
actually that like in terms of like the roadmap for Padama, that's something now
yes,
one of
yes.
our
I share
challenges
your
also.
vision.
Yeah. One of our challenges, but also one of our the things that
You know, I
we
share.
look forward. Yeah, we look forward to to build more
You
for
know, I
Padama.
share your vision. I've always said this, Giselle. Talking about food security, it's talking about the production, the food production, but also the food preference, wise
Yes.
food intake, quantity
Yes.
and quality. And that's
Yes.
why your education is so important. But then you would need nutritionists and food scientists with very, very strong new methods of determining the quality or the what you call the minimum recommended daily
Yeah.
allowances, both of macro and micronutrients.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
course, it needs
Correct.
fiber. So where would you get that kind of expertise? As Vicky Miko said, you have the whole UP Los Baños who's focused on agriculture, food, and nutrition. There are whole institutes or colleges there. Okay,
All right.
so if
Wow.
you needed that kind of information, you can connect with me or with Vicky
Yes,
or with
yes, please.
Angela.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. That's an exciting
See,
network to to
yes,
be part of.
but tell you bottom line, and I am a believer in this because my background is in chemistry. So bottom line, because this is a material world, food is material, other natural resources, biomaterials from food, from food crops. You're always thinking also of other materials from the food crop that could be useful, biomaterials. We have experts in PAASE based in the United States who are
Wow.
leaders in this field. Okay, in
Nice. Nice.
particular, take down his name, Carlito Lebrilla of UC Davis, is collaborating with Gladys Completo of UPLB, both chemistry and biochemistry. And you know, Carlito is a leader in what you call food fingerprinting.
Wow.
Food fingerprinting using this very advanced or frontier technology called mass spectrometry. Mass spectrometry measures the molecular weights of um, compounds, molecules, food molecules. For
Wow.
example, the quality of carbohydrates differs with each food crop. Not
Nice.
everything is cellulose, glucose. No, there are other good sugars like rhamnose and xylose. So he already has a fingerprint of major veggies, plants, including moringa, which is my own advocacy,
All right.
about which carbohydrates are present in these food crops. So
Wow.
some of them would have xylose, some of them would have rhamnose, which are important for the nervous system or for the immune system. And that is why we say, hey, moringa is really good for children, you know, for infants. And we already have this kind of advocacy that we are involved in PAASE and our other friends of PAASE. So that's an example of frontier technology. Now, if you're
Wow.
going to pursue a cyclical economy or no waste, zero waste, so this is with the range, yeah? Well, you could think of food crops and what it is that you could do, say, with the cellulose fibers in rice. Sorry, not rice, because rice is silicaceous. Okay, but in other crops, okay, sugar cane and all that. And this is what you call nanocrystalline cellulose technology. And we have a leader in the world. His name is Rigoberto Advincula. He's moved from Case Western Reserve University to the University of Tennessee Oakwood National Laboratory. It's
Wow.
a national laboratory, University of Tennessee. And this guy is a leader in 3D printing and additive manufacturing. And together with the DOST, he's setting up a central facility at the DOST for additive manufacturing. And this guy is producing new materials from abaca, for example, or from other biomaterials. So that's
Wow.
cyclical, no? Now,
Nice. Nice. Nice.
yes, really nice. Okay, the third thing is you might say a little bit more my interest, my academic interest, and my special entrepreneurial interests. So it's this. I am a researcher on microbial biodiversity, symbionts found in marine mollusks, okay, marine mollusks. And we have in our lab bacteria that can degrade cellulose. They are cellulitic bacteria because bacteria found in shipworms, I don't know if you know what tamilok is. It's tamilok. It's a
Delicacy. Yeah.
Delicacy yan, no? Para siyang oyster. Bivalve siya. It looks like a worm. That's why they're called shipworms. Pero they're actually bivalves. They're as sweet as oysters. But they have an economic value because they are found in mangroves and they're responsible for bringing a lot of carbon from the terrestrial kasi photosynthesis tayo no, sa land. Tapos yung bini-breakdown nila, glucose, bumalik ngayon yan sa marine, the mangrove waters, and they create niches for marine organisms to live and to thrive. And this brings me to the value of the blue economy. So I know, Chazelle, that you are still focused on land.
Yes,
but then we are in archipelagic company and nation. We're really developing blue economy, and it's a major theme even for the national government. No, okay. So
all right.
Don't forget our fisheries and marine resources, or aquaculture. Okay, so that now. Fourth thing is urban farming. Okay, I have this advocacy for poorer families. Okay, because right now I see your Padama is focused on the more affluent families, the ones who are work from home, and then there's now like buy and sell among villages and communities. So that's fine because urban economy is so important. Okay. So that would continue, but then we also have the world's expert on vertical urban farming in the PAASE. He is Professor Joel Coelho of the University of Arizona. You can search all of them, these three guys, okay? These three guys you can search and you can get information about, what they're doing. And we actually already prepared 14 agri-aqua project proposals for the regions. It's got to be province-based, no? It includes Joel's and Gobet's project proposals, and also Carlito Lebrilla. All of them have a project proposal there, including a Moringa plus Mungo, Mangbin. So it's my M&M project with Gladys Completo of UP Los Baños and Carlito Lebrilla, because based on the minimum recommended daily allowance of Moringa, where I have done some research, and on Mangbin, where Institute of Plant Breeding of UP Los Baños has done a lot of research, M&M, and then we put plus, we put soy, we put vitamin A. This is for our poor children, Chazelle, okay? Because our national scientist and PAASE honorary member, Father Ben Nebres, president of the Ateneo for 18 years, whom I worked with very closely, his new advocacy is really for poor communities, and he wants to avert malnutrition before, and poor brain development before it's too late. So he's trying to get food to the communities through the Gawad Kalinga program, through school children, and now is moving earlier back to the infant stage and to the pregnancy stage. And we are trying to complete the value chain by trying to come up with an M&M in a transportable form. Okay, this is one of my advocacies, seriously. I'm marine, but I'm also terrestrial now. And it's really to stem the problem of poverty. Kasi vicious cycle talaga yun eh. Okay, poverty kasi disadvantage na mental capacity pagka may malnutrition. It's really an investment in the future. And it has what I would call a multiplier or amplification effect if we address the poverty, the hunger, the malnutrition at a very early stage. Okay, so with that, I have to tell you about our other guest speaker in the PAASE. Her name is Mercy Rivera Abad. She was an marketing industry leader for many years, but now, she started Pulse Asia, Trends, and then Social Weather Station with Mahar Mangahas. But now she is into ASHI, Ahon sa Hirap Foundation Incorporated. And you know what it is? It's a microfinancing of 87,000 women all over the country. And there are 20 million such women. And we say, and we've embraced this. I mean, my other organization, Zonta Club, okay? We have supported them because mothers are really the ones who hold the livelihood or the money in the family. So she's training them in groups of 5 to become responsible, to have a livelihood. And they have a 1 billion peso line from Land Bank that they're able to pay 95% success rate before COVID. Now it's down to 75% because of COVID, no? Pero before, grabe, 95% ang kanilang loan payback rate. And that's why they have this 1 billion peso line. Hindi sila nangangailangan ng puhunan for the mothers. Starts with 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and then some of them 100,000 already. They're able to send their children to school, and have already college graduates, no? But anyway, that's not the food part of it. The food part of it is, you can imagine many of them are into planting, okay?
Yes,
and
definitely.
You know why they're able to pay their loans? Because somehow they're involved already in the food value chain. Do you know where their clients are? Their clients are Mang Inasal, Chowking, Jollibee, Tensios. So Mercy has been able to connect them with the private sector. So do you know the demand for food supplements or things like turmeric or cassava banana? They are in the tons and tons of these food products. So wow, if you are really committed to food supply and security, you might want to connect with ASHI, and you might want to go on this advocacy, not only to help the more well-off or affluent communities, but also now the rural communities or those poor communities in the province.
Thank you for actually sharing this great insights. It build my like the roadmap that we wanted to like envision for Padama, because Padama is actually in English is to care and to show support, and Eman and I, we know that through Padama, food is actually a caring symbol also. When you care for yourself, when you care for your health, everything else follows. So you care also for your family, you care also for the environment.
You're such a great communicator, Jaisal. We can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So that's your
but thank you for really sharing those insights. We'll look also into that and top market.
I have one more to share. So Jaisal, I think that your Globe Telecom, everyone should know that Jaisal was with Globe Telecom for 8 years.
Yes, I worked in Globe Telecom for 8 years. Yeah.
Amazing.
I handle their marketing campaigns. I work with different brands. I'm grateful. I've been talking with the partners from Netflix, Spotify, Disney. I've been doing local marketing campaigns for them, and then everyone is really surprised, like, "Hey, you're leaving? you're having a new path?" And I said, "Yes. I really want to have the business of my own." But I don't, like, my family is corporate also, like their backgrounds all are corporate finance. And so I told myself, what if I can start a business from tech, from science? So that's why I enrolled in MSIB, and I'm happy with the journey so far that I'm experiencing right now. Yeah, it's a new route for me, but laban lang.
No, that's the way. We know that there's been a discussion even locally of the next generation of the wealthy families of say the Philippines. The way it's done in Korea or even in China, it's really the third, fourth generations of the Taipan or the wealthy families that could move forward, business to become more inclusive, more socially responsible, and more tech driven. And that's
more tech driven.
Okay, so that's my key, and that's son of a architect Palafox, and many others in the MSIB.
Yes.
That's why you can move forward, because you have the capital to invest in. All you need to do is to invest, ask your parents to invest in you, and of course they will never say no to you if you have a good business proposition, value proposition, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So which brings me to my last 2 points, Jaisal, and this is all constructive. And
Yes.
I would like to ask whether you curate your products, your food products well. So you're promoting certain food products, and then always, of course, I know it's always an issue of is this objective, and then you're managing this thing. So is there like a kind of a feedback mechanism? I know it's okay. Product looks good. You have a taste testing during this online, pandemic that's limited, and you know what advertising and marketing can
Yes.
do to shield the truth. So truth
Yes.
in
Yes.
advertising is
Yes.
always,
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
may I ask that question before I move to my final question?
Okay, okay. Okay. So that's the reason why we do Padama Talks, wherein we, as much as possible, we bring in like real consumers. It could be a mom, it could be a chef, and they share their experience of these products, or they share this experience with a recipe in a way that we aim to make it more credible that these are actually used by real people, and that their story about this food or this item actually works. So that's the reason why we started doing online conversations, because we felt that credibility of the message is important. And what a way to build that credibility about the food product and items are those coming from testimonials and interviews from the speakers. So agree, it's also a challenge for us, and I think with Eman is a food blogger, so he is actually doing all the networking and partnerships for Padama, and he told me that he is currently expanding his food network. And what we do is we interview different people. So whether you're a chef, a food blogger, or a influencer, a mom, and we ask, okay, can you create a recipe that you can talk about for Padama Talks? And we tell them, okay, if you're a mom, talk about back to school healthy snacks. If you're a chef, talk about how your food preparation can help those moms or those diners at home with limited time to prepare their food. So in a way, we hinge on real stories straight from the speakers, straight from the real consumers. Yeah, there.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's a built-in thing now. So
Yes.
any product that you buy, you'll see it's 5 star, or it's how many
Yes.
rated it, right? So you
Yes.
only
Yes.
get
Yes.
the
Yes.
ones with
Yes.
5 star
Yes.
close to
Yes.
it. But for me, Jaisal, food is a little bit trickier. Okay,
Yep.
so anything you take in is really tricky, and because it's the one that really decides or determines your health and wellness, or your propensity to disease, including
Yes.
metabolic syndromes. Okay, so there's a science that's really so important to address
Correct.
when it
Correct.
comes
Correct.
to food. So I would like to suggest that you move in that direction. And I know that palatability, visuals of food, that's why, the chef gourmet business is really flourishing. That's so important as well. But recommended quantities, and then recommended
Yes.
cooking, processing. But bottom line is, it would be nice. I mean, I don't want to make it so restricted naman, or so controlled na you have to
Yeah.
know everything, every
Yes.
molecule.
Definite. Yeah.
Right?
No.
This-
No.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes you have to give yourself a nice bad meal, right? Because with anything at all, fat. So I know about, I would give these talks about why there are fats, we develop fats, or we have a liking for fats. It's really for palatability, right? And you
Yes.
need to reward yourself with this sometimes,
Yes.
okay? For the other times, and many other times, that you are going to eat healthily. But once in a
Yes.
while,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
so
yeah, and actually that's why I really look forward to, really, even after this call, is to really engage with you, because we need
yeah,
those data. We need to match it with ours, so that it's scientific. It's also like um tested, reviewed by most consumers. So yeah, I look forward to really talking to you even after this system.
Okay, I want to share this now. This is really personal business interest and advocacy. Just like CP David has talked about his adlai. And I also,
Right?
yeah, CP is into the education thing, Raya schools, which is so impressive. I didn't know until recently, no? Pero in my case, I actually have a company. It's called Biomart, and I have a brand that I'm building. It's called Biogenins, and it's the same Biogenins. Again, it's kind of scientific. Biosynthesized compounds from plants. So I have a plant-based skincare, face care, hair care product line. And actually, many of the products now are FDA approved. So I've had them renewed. And now the DTI is actually helping me with the packaging because, you know, I don't think I am the expert in packaging and, you know, and advertising. So in fact, I just had a meeting with the DTI Design Center Philippines group yesterday. They're kind of taken a liking for my range of products, and now I'm pursuing it because I'm retired. Okay, so anyway, I'm just saying, you know, food for the mouth for internal is also food for the skin. Skin is your largest organ in the body. It is your protective organ. It's the largest organ in your body. So whatever you put in is important. So skin food is what my it's protective extracts. They're highly concentrated plant extracts that are made into face care washes, feminine care, feminine wash, intimate wash, shampoo. So they're all Philippine tropical plant extracts, okay, protected by trade secret of a combination of them. So I just wanted to tell you that that's also an important area for whole life holistic lifestyle. And then, you know, since I don't yet have the LTO for a food supplement product, okay, my vitamin C zinc for COVID could not be approved as a nasal oral drop. Okay, it is as an oral care drop. So I have this product for COVID, which I talk about because vitamin C became very scarce and expensive, and zinc as well. But then many people will buy vitamin C, take in 5 milligram, 500 milligrams, or even 1 gram, and just waste the whole vitamin C. It just goes to your urine. Why? Because you're well. You don't really need it. You need like spikes of vitamin C when you are compromised or about to get sick or are sick. So I thought maybe that if you applied it to the oral cavity or the nasal cavity where the COVID, the virus first enters, then you would be using vitamin C and zinc well. Okay, so my product is called Vitamin C Zinc Protect. That's it.
All right.
And
I'll check it out. I'll be checking it out. Yeah.
So yeah, I will. If you could give me your cell phone, I could actually, just give you the brochure for this, the flyer for this.
All right. Sure.
Right? So I talked so much already. I mean, but then I hope that you learned from my inputs just as much as I learned from your inputs.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we do appreciate your time and for sharing your knowledge and also for listening to our story. And yeah, exciting times. I really agree with you, and we need more science and science combined with art, with tech, with with urban and with food. So yeah, let's do this.
And we have social scientists in PAASE because it's true. No, the way you're experiencing it, and you are a social scientist, obviously, you're a communication scientist. The problem with getting the science down to the level of, the private sector or even NGOs is we don't have that social cultural context. We always miss that part, right? And it has to be communicated in the context of the culture of the community. Okay, and so we have social, cultural, economic scientists in PAASE. For example, just one last, because I could go on and on. So when I was a UP administrator, we funded a program in UP Los Baños called Rico. Rico, maybe you will champion this. Rico, you might champion this. You know what Rico is? Rice corn combination. 70% rice, 30% white corn. And together, they look like rice, okay? And it's much cheaper because of the corn component, much, much cheaper. And also very, very healthy, okay? But what's the impediment to getting Rico, um, eaten by population? First, of course, is the supply of white corn. Okay? But then again, you can just invest in that later if there is a market. What is the other impediment? It's cultural. So our research program in UP involved the social cultural aspect of it. We asked our social scientists in UPLES, in Los Baños, to get the UPLB educated community, to try it and to survey whether it would be as acceptable as white rice. Because we know that rice is treated, as part of a religious ritual. That is it's our culture to value rice as our staple. Okay, so it's just telling you that our the way we address our problems should really be holistic. Should be holistic.
Yes,
okay,
yes, definitely.
So these ideas, Jason, you might be able to be able to promote these kinds of ideas. Okay.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And I will reach out to you even after this call because I wanted, like for me, as a marketer, I like to execute things also and measure it. So yeah, let's do it.
We need endorsers. We need endorsers of good products. And Institute of Plant Breeding has this Rico, box of Rico. And we gave it away as gifts to our faculty then, no? But the one who was endorsing it was none other than Manny Pacquiao. And then bigla na lang nag-stop. DA was aware of it. And then nag-change ng administration. Biglang wala na. Continuity na sinasabi ni Mikey is always a problem. Okay.
All right.
So if there are no more comments and questions, I'd like you, thank you. Thank you very much again from the bottom of my heart. CP, Rika, Jaisal, Rage, Mikey, and your partners, and the TIP researchers and the faculty students who joined us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like the corporate social responsibility MSIB. CP, every presentation that I listened to then had this. It's that noble goal, that higher, greater common good goal. It is a requirement for each of their capstone projects.
And it usually comes with age, Giselle. Naisip natin yung giving back when we're a little bit older. That's why for this crop of students, realizing their role in nation building as early as possible is we're heading towards a future that's brighter.
Well, I must say, na-pick up nila yan sa undergrad nila, pero I think it kind of changed. Game-changing was when I'm not trying to say that, when Chris Mantarola, Erica Legara, they joined AIM. So UP rin yan, UP NIP yan, no? And then they required it. With Luisa, they required that there's got to be the corporate social responsibility aspect of their capstone project. So it's also parang almost imposed on them or affirmation of what our youth think would be important. So ako, CP, to be honest, I'm not so worried anymore now. Seeing this LIDAR and Project NOAA, don't you feel some great gratification? No, that the private sector is picking it up. Actually, it should be that way in the economy. How I wish the government would give this 1:1 incentives for PPPs for technology-driven projects like these, no?
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm retiring in a few years.
Ako rin eh. Me like that. Yan, CP, and go private. Go private, just
Bahala
like me.
na kayo, Jaisel, Mikey.
Oo. Totoo yan, totoo yan. Tapos imagine may PhD science, PhD data science program na ang AIM na hindi pa natin ma-set up sa UP.
Oo nga eh. Baka nga the formula that they're doing in AIM is better than what we're doing in UP. And that is combining business because you need to be sustainable in your advocacy.
Yes.
Guys, kahit maganda yung goals ninyo, if you're not able to
Yes, agree.
give your employees their salary or your own
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, Beth
funding.
is here. Oh my gosh, Beth Lahos, President Beth,
Yeah.
so great for you. Your your team is here. Pero CP, totoo yan. I think, I'm sorry, pero I have to give credit naman. Rico, thanks for joining, for the business side. Pero Chris and Erica, mga game-changing na yan. And, parang meron ng 1 foot of UP in AIM. Raul Fabella is even there as your honorary board or faculty. Pero he's also getting the students, the graduates of UP. There are 3 or 4 NIP graduates in the PhD science program. 8 yon. Isa from computer science, isa from engineering. So, sabihin, ano na rin, no? Parang yung mga taga-UP, pumupunta ngayon sa AIM to become the leaders, PhD data science. Knowledge creation yan, CP. And the requirements for the degree program, the degree in PhD, mas steep pa, I think, or kasing steep ng UP. Parang Singapore standards. Publications, so knowledge creation in data science. Hindi lang data science workers, kundi data science leaders or knowledge creators. So I'd like to give a chance to our, oh my goodness, this eminent president. I'm so impressed with the TIP trailblazing president, none other than Dr. Elizabeth Beth Laos, trailblazing TIP. Please speak to us and meet, our presenters and Rico, Professor Rico Camus, and of course CP. No? Beth.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Giselle, and hi, CP. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I joined just now, but of course, we were together last week because we said that TIP is now offering the professional science master's degree in data science. But I read all of the blurb about the speakers, your speakers today, and they're all very interesting. And congratulations that you're able to keep this webinar series up, Giselle. Thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic. And next week, CP, Rico, we are going to have our final Fireside Chat 8 for this year. And, we will try to continue. Wow, it's very nice. Actually, they're all recorded. We will continue. So Rico, CP, we're thinking of inviting industry leaders. So I mentioned earlier Cora Claudio because we have to hear her views on the blue economy. Lisa Mantaring for data science and this all the cyber. Sun Life leader, very, very important person. And we were thinking of someone from the pharma. And so Al Sarafica suggested, if not Gani Padolina, the president himself of Pascal Pharma. And then we would get the couple Herb Next, Philip and Ruby Cruz to speak. And we would have this kind of, informal conversation. So Beth, if you would get, your faculty and researchers to join us, that would be fantastic. And the reason this is so important, Rico, is because TIP is invested already in Fab Labs with help also from the DSE and the private sector. And again, TIP is a private university that is running on generations of the family owned, where the children are, maybe even improving or growing the vision of their parents. So Beth is growing the vision of her parents. So may continuity talaga pagka family-owned business. Okay, with great social responsibility. PIP, as Beth tells me, offers among the lowest tuition fees ever. Okay, and then with such facilities already, Fab Labs, 3D printing, they're already collaborating even with UP and UP Manila MDs and with De La Salle to build equipment and all that stuff. So I think it's a very important time for us, and I always say it's a cliche, it's a platitude. Necessity is the mother of invention. Okay, all right. Dire times or difficult times produce innovations. So this is a good time for us. It's the worst of times, but also the best of times.
All right. Good luck with all your endeavors. Nawala na rin si Jaisel.
Okay, yeah, busy to do their work, but the point is, we're trying to help you as much as you're trying to help us. So with this, I think I'd like to end our chat, and I'll try best to get the team for Thursday. I'll start emailing the potential speakers and give us ideas of whoever else. And Beth, if we want another fireside chat, moving into end of November into early December.
No more. Go on vacation naman. No, it's okay. We will be there next. We will be there next Friday.
Yes.
We will join you. My team.
May chat, tapos pag-isipan, tapos kailangan bawat chat may follow through. Okay,
Yeah.
may follow through. Let know that CP and I are drafting, principally CP, the S&T Human Capital Development paper. Okay, PAASE-led. But we ask for support from PACU, from PASO, from everyone. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye, Ma'am Beth.
Good.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye,
CP. Nice seeing you there.
Bye-bye.
Congrats. Bye-bye.
See you. Thank you so much, Rico. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.